So here is the latest dresser that I am working on. It's beautiful. I shared a little bit about it on Facebook just to share a process of how I get the peeling veneer off. But as part of this, I wanted to share the rest of the process here and show you what I'm doing and how I do things. For me right now, I'm really loving the wood tones and not everything painted. If a piece does not, I'm thinking about keeping it, I will not paint it, and I want to try and get some wood tones out of it if I can. I do love the mix of wood and paint, so that sometimes happens if there's like an area that's really bad and it's just not taking the either the stain I'm using here very well, then I will mix paint and stain together. But if I'm going to sell a piece, I usually have to paint it because, and I don't know if it's just the area I'm in, but to sell it, the painted pieces sell better here. So if it doesn't work in the area I want it to, or the space just isn't right, then I will have to sell it. But okay, so the first thing I did, I shared the hardware, and this whole makeover will be on the blog, of course, but hardware this came with, and I didn't like it at all. It's actually hardware that I don't even think I will use again, and so I got rid of that. That was the first thing I did. And then I shared how I removed this veneer that was peeling just on the drawers. It's just right here on every drawer. There was peeling veneer. I have many posts on the blog about how I remove veneer, and I will link to the method I used here in this post. So I did that, and then I took my sander and I sanded the whole piece really, really, really well. And then I took a damp cloth and I wiped it off really well to get rid of all the sand dust and the debris. And so a lot of times if I'm trying to see how the wood's going to look or if I'm going to be able to keep the piece wood and not paint it, I use this product is it's Restore Finish. Comes in different colors. I always check with this stuff first. I am not a big refinisher where I'm going to be stripping and sanding and then staining and poly and all that. It's so much work that, and it's kind of frustrating. So I don't do that a lot with pieces thanks to this. This has just changed so much of the wood pieces and projects I do. I will never not have this on hand. So I will leave a link to this. But so what I did was after I had everything washed really well is I took both colors because I didn't know, and I just tried them on a little swatch in the back. So that showed me which color I liked the best. And this neutral is what I liked the best for this piece. The dark walnut was a little too dark for this piece. And so literally all I do is I cut up an towel into squares. And I just put some on, undo the lid, put it on, and rub it all over the piece. And you guys can see here, I've only done half of this just so you can see the difference. I did this top and that drawer front and not this side. You guys, it is just that product that is on this piece. That is it. It's unbelievable. I've talked many about times, but if you do not have this stuff in your little toolbox or in your paint supplies, you need it, because even if you just want to kind of liven up the wood of a piece, this stuff, it just restores it beautifully. Okay, so I always wear a glove, and so this is just this old rag. So literally this is all I'm doing. I'm just putting a little bit of this in this neutral color. I mean, it's neutral. Look what it does. I'll just start right up here so you can. I mean, are you kidding me? A lot of time these pieces, the wood is just dried out and just hasn't been. So this, instead of stripping pieces, I mean, just try some of this on your furniture. I've used it on cabinets. I mean, look at that. Every time I do this, I'm like, oh my gosh, this stuff is so unbelievable. So that's all I'm going to do on the rest of this piece. Another tip is you can always paint over stain or paint over this stuff if you didn't like it in the end. But to paint it and then go back and do this, obviously you're going to have to strip it and all that. So don't do that. If I decide I'm going to do this on all of this, I'm not sure how I'm going to take it. Let me just share here. There are some dark areas in here, and Matt was helping me do some of this, but we kind of used a screwdriver wrapped around one of these rags to get in and that was like right in these little edges. So I'm not sure how these drawers are going to look, but that's okay. It's always an experiment. You always have to have a plan B and C, but I'm going to do this on all the piece and then see how it looks. And I can always paint over the parts or I could just do painted drawers and the rest wood toned. So it's not an end all be all, but the way this stuff works is unbelievable. And I will share, so I'm going to continue this and I'm going to get this all on, decide what I'm going to do, and then I will share a final photo of this piece in my feed. And then all of the supplies I use, the steps I took, the before of this piece on the blog as well. So, okay, I'm excited to get this done and see what it's going to look like. I'm just a little nervous about the drawer fronts, but this stuff has covered up some stuff up here that I didn't think was going to cover up, and it did it really well. So stay tuned.